Hey guys, I'm Tom, and today we're going to be going over a game called Hieroglyphika. It's a roguelike by M. Honka Games. It's available on Steam for $10. Like I said, it's a roguelike. It's set in an Egyptian pyramid. It's filled with enemies based on famous figures of Egyptian mythology. You're going to see enemies like Anubis, Sekhmet, is it Bubastis, I think is one? I think that's one of the cat goddesses. I can You're going to be playing as this Prussian explorer, you see, and you're going to procedurally make your way through the pyramids, and you're going to be moving in. You have your 8 ways of movement, and it's turn-based. So you move, then the enemies move, and the traps and various parts of the pyramid make their moves. So you're going to be trying to make your way through this pyramid, and you cross from left to right, making your way through, and then you're going to try to descend to the next level. The guardians of the pyramid are going to be trying to stop you and kill you on the way there, and you have your hit points, and you've got whatever gear that you can get out of the sarcophagi, and whatever you can get off of slain enemies. There is no experience system, so there's nothing to be gained from killing enemies besides getting gear and spells off of them. So the idea is to just go. Like I cannot say this heavily enough. Like just like you do not want to get ingrained in any fights because, as you can see, what's on the screen right now, I've gotten kind of like boxed into a corner here, and there's not really anywhere for me to go. I'll touch on that later in the review. So you're going to want to try and press past these guys, outmaneuver them if possible. You can use these pressure plates, as you can see around me on the pyramid floor. You can use those to trigger the traps early, and they'll go off on their own as well. The traps, these ports on the tops of the walls, and also some of the dividers in between the passageways and corridors, they're going to fire gusts of wind, poison darts, bursts of flame, like all kinds of crazy shit's going to be flying your way, and it's going to be one hell of a wild ride trying to get in through this pyramid. As you can see, when you kill an enemy, sometimes they drop gear, sometimes they drop spells. They'll also drop these positive and negative life spirits. Um, they look like the winged scarabs, and what these guys are going to do is they come in, I think I've seen 10, 20, and 30 as far as denominations go, and those are going to replenish your life points. However, they come in two varieties, positive and negative, as I said before. So positive is going to give you life, and negative will actually damage you. However, you can mitigate this by getting different types of gear. Like you'll see that I'll get different armors and shields and things like that that will actually allow me to gain hit points back from the negative life spirits, and be damaged by the positive life spirits, or gain hit points back from both of them. So there is that, and also these guys can they can also replenish the health of your enemies or damage your enemies. So it adds another kind of I want to say almost like kind of like a random aspect into the game where they can sometimes buff your enemies back up to full health or buff you back to full health, but at the same time, you might have times where they'll sweep in and they'll kill an enemy that's giving you trouble, or might even damage you when you really already are hurting or boxed in by enemies. So you can see over the course of this playthrough, I'm not doing very well. I pretty much get my teeth kicked in on both of these, or on this playthrough. So one of the things I wanted to go over with this is, like I've said, it's turn-based, so there is no time limit, and since there is a turn system, you want to take your time through this game. It's very methodical, you don't want to rush your way through there. If you rush, you're probably going to make mistakes, and you're going to be seeing the game over screen an awful lot. So the pros I wanted to go over for this game were the stylized graphics. I really like the design of this game. It's a very stark contrast type setup. The artwork is gorgeous and it's very smooth in the animation. There's not too much going on animation wise, but it conveys a really interesting aesthetic, and I really like the game. It's a roguelike, so this is nothing that you haven't seen before in that sense, where you're going to be able to replay this over and over and over again. And it's going to be a different game every single time. Once again, death is permanent, so if you die, you got to start all over from the very beginning. And in that aspect, it's very challenging. It rewards patience and intelligence and that methodical nature. So it's going to be a much more fulfilling game if you are going to be trying to take your time and observe what the enemies are doing and what kind of structure this particular dungeon is taken. Also, sometimes you're gonna get fucked. Like, let's be perfectly honest about things. There are gonna be certain run-throughs where it's gonna seem like the structure of the pyramid is pretty much designed to completely screw over your run. You're not going to get any decent weapons, or it's going to be a weapon that gives you horrible accuracy and like high damage or something like that. So you're going to whiff off half your attacks. Or you're going to have like some 20-point negative health spirit come dashing in and basically just take a steaming shit on your forehead, with you unable to even stop it. Or you might just get boxed in by enemies, and then as you proceed through the levels, it's going to be you're going to be pursued by other guardians of the pyramid. And that's one of the cons that I wanted to get into, was that it can be frustrating. It can seem sometimes like it's being really unfairly difficult and you're getting screwed over and you're being punished for things that you have no control over. And while there are times where that can really piss you off and it'll kind of put a damper on the gameplay, I never felt like it really ruined the game for me. I always enjoyed myself, and that difficulty could be it could be a turnoff for some players, but personally, I was never that I was never that worried about it. I always wanted to come back and I wanted to try again and take what I had learned and move forward. So once again, this is Hieroglyphica. It's by Mhanka Games. You can buy it on Steam for $10. I highly recommend it. It's a awesome title. It's been out for a couple of weeks, and yeah, hopefully it'll go on Steam sale, so you'll be able to get it for even cheaper soon. But yeah, I'm Tom. Thanks for listening, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for listening.